Hi, my name is Winsley, and welcome to my video discussing the 12th dev diary for Age of Wonders 4. This one is covering music or creating the original soundtrack for Age of Wonders 4. And while this is a pretty short dev diary without a lot of screenshots and information about how the game is going to interact, I do think this is a really interesting point that a lot of people miss, and I think it's worth celebrating the work of Michiel van de Bos. He's been working with Triumph for a long, long time and creating some really just iconic music that I enjoy putting on in the background just while I'm like editing a video or, playing other games with less interesting soundtracks. I'll put his stuff on because I don't know. I find it very relaxing in general. A lot of video game music makes me feel tense, and this his stuff it just always is like, okay, I could listen to this for hours and hours and hours, and it's kind of like how things go with Age of Wonders games and the multiplayer scene. Um, yeah, I think it's cool that they actually have posted all of the songs on the YouTube channel. If you wanted to, you can use this link, and it's got all 2 hours worth of songs here. So that's great. If you wanted to, you can just use this to listen to the music and relax and kind of get in the vibe for playing the game. You can maybe use that Wonder app I saw where you create your faction with this in the background just to pretend like Age of Wonders 4 is already out, right? Sounds okay. There's a little synopsis of how some of these songs are put together, and I think we'll go through a few of them. The ones I found were really interesting. The introduction here basically talks about how a long time ago, when they first started doing the Age of Wonders games, they had a lot of limitations on what they could use, and that led to the sound of like traditional orchestras being drenched in basically synthetic sounds. And that just became their like I don't know, what do you call it? Their brand, right? That they kept going back to and reusing. I think Highlander is a song in Age of Wonders 4, and they talk about how when they initially wrote it, it had too much traditional medieval music and it was too much in your face, so they decided to go for something a little bit more like, I don't know, chill, relaxing, the kind of vibe that I enjoy about their music. Um, and let's see. Yeah, they do mention about how Age of Wonders 3 was a bit of a mixture of original work and remixes, whereas this stuff is primarily new material with winks to legacy songs. I like that. I didn't know that the Age of Wonders 3 was remixes and reimaginings of original works. It sounded pretty original to me. And yeah, I think it's cool that they're kind of getting outside of their comfort zone and doing something different here. I know that the tools have come a long way since they were working on Age of Wonders 3. They then went over some of the tools that Michiel used to create the songs. I think Michiel actually wrote this dev diary, which is I don't think something a lot of people who write soundtracks would do. So I love that. This is it just makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, is contributed by, so he helped come up with parts of this, right? Um, I don't know anything about Spitfire or signed samples. These are it's cool. I guess for people who like to make music, this could be useful. This could let you like figure out how you want to approach designing music for your own game. I might send it to like a friend or two of mine that have told me they're working on games in case they haven't seen this. Who knows? It could be useful. So yeah, Highlander is the main song. It's just supposed to be there in the background so that you've got something while you create a character. Probably would recommend that for if you're gonna use that app I mentioned by Eric DB, I think it was on the forums. Magnificent Vista. It's more in your face uh, approach than the approach used in previous games. I liked the one at the beginning of the YouTube video. It had a good name. It's like work begins at dusk, I think. Our work shall commence at dusk. Pretty funny. It's not just the songs themselves that I love. It's the whole setting and everything. The name really sets the tone for the song, and it really fits the vibe of Age of Wonders and the kind of funny names that you see in at all the locations and characters you see at all those locations. Um, what else was there in here that I wanted to talk about? They just kind of talk about how this one's heavy, sweeping climax. This one's a good one to get up in the morning. Yeah, no, this is the one I was just talking about, especially when you need to spend your day building roads and bridges. Second part of the song is where there's more labor. There was something in here about how, yes, they switch gears about halfway through the song, which I love. I like that kind of like change in a song. I don't know. If it stays the same for 5 minutes, it gets kind of boring. But if it shifts gears like more than once, actually, that's the kind of music I listen to when I'm not playing video games. Yes, I have a pretty active mind, and it takes a lot to keep my attention. Um, Sustained growth, they had a bit more to say here. What starts out as simple melody becomes grander, dark yet uplifting, uneasy yet carefree. Yeah, I like that. It's a mixture of emotions. One of the more modern sounding songs. I'm gonna have to listen to that after we're done talking about this stuff. And that's it. That's pretty much everything they have for us this in this dev diary. But we will be getting more interesting stuff tomorrow. We're gonna get a Ask Me Anything with the devs tomorrow, April 7th at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. set. Oh, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. set. That's like midnight for me to, what is that? Six, no, not 6 hours later. Um, I can do math. That's 5 plus 3. That's 8 hours later. So until 8 a.m., I might catch like the last 2 hours of that. I post my questions in here, and I hope that's okay. I don't think they've posted a place for people to post their questions, so I think this should be okay. They did actually request that you save your questions for another post for the Ask Me Anything. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that. I don't know if I'll be there at midnight. That seems a bit tricky for me. But yeah, that's pretty much everything we could say here. I could read a couple more of these to you, but I don't know. There's You can always do that yourselves. So yeah, we'll talk next week when we have a another dev diary. I'll probably talk about the Ask Me Anything in a separate video next week. There's going to be a lot of things in there over 8 hours that I'm going to have to pick through to find like the highlights. I'll probably actually talk to some people in Discord. If you want to leave me a comment on this video, that would also be incredibly helpful. Uh, so yeah, until then, have a good one.